Hey everybody, what's up? It's Rothy from Rothy Reads Numbers, and today was, as of a couple of minutes ago, October 11th, 2020. It's going to be somewhat of a different reading and video than I normally do for several reasons, but for one of those reasons, I need to just go ahead and kind of say a quick little message to some of you who may not know that I do this, and they're probably thinking that I'm a little bit crazy right now, but so to all my Cowboys friends and groups out there, if you see this video, my name is Sarah, aka Rothy. I'm a numerologist, which means I read numbers, and I do readings for them, and I have, so it's a whole little rabbit hole interesting tidbit about me, so that's why the weird video. Now, obviously, today, just like everybody else, I was devastated to see what happened to our quarterback, who's not only an amazing athlete and person, and part of the reason, big part of the reason why I've been so upset today about this is because Dak is far more than just a football player to me. Okay, I don't know him. I've never met him. I have a friend that works closely with him, but other than that, I'm just a fan, just like everybody else, okay? I just happen to know things about him because as a super obsessed lifelong Cowboys fan, and especially Dak Prescott fan, and being obsessed with numerology, being a numerologist as I have for many years, of course, I did the entire team's charts, and of course, I know Dak's chart like the back of my hand. Not only because of that, but we actually share 3 numbers in the same exact places. So there's many reasons that Dak Prescott is super, super important to me, and why this has affected me a little bit more than maybe some would think is appropriate. And honestly, I don't care what others think. To be completely forthright, the real intention of this video is really just to get to Dak so that there is messages that may be given to him. So I put that into the universe and into the intention of this video. Okay, so with that being said, I have been very upset today, and I may be a little bit ADD. I apologize for the I'm going to do my best to stay very concise and as understandable and comprehensive as possible. With that being said, I appreciate your bearing with me and patience. Okay, so as a numerologist, I am also an empath. I am clairsentient, claircognizant, and I'm also an automatic writer. Those are the 3 that I do know of. I found this out by accident last year, and there's a long story to that, much of which can be seen in many videos on my YouTube page, but that's neither here nor there, but just a little bit about my history and who I am. Now, the reason that I do this is because I see and I read everything in life through numbers, and it's so important to me to be able to help others to read people and read life through numbers, because they absolutely talk to us. Numerology is throughout every religion and culture in all of history. Everything is numbers, everything is energy, therefore numbers are energy, okay? Scientific, okay? Legit, this is not some like just weird spiritual shit, although kind of, right? But anyways, numerology is the study and science of numbers, their energies, frequencies, vibrations, and how they impact us as individuals as well as a world, okay? All numbers in infinity can deduce down to 1 digit, either 1 through 9 or the masters, 11, 22, and 33. Just like astrology charts, we all have numerology charts. However, numerology is far more precise than astrology. Again, many of the videos and clients that I have on my YouTube channel is, there's plenty of stuff that's in there that talks about this, that we actually experience together, including channeling of past relatives. So it really does get deep, especially for those like me who are sensitives and who have a little bit more active spiritual lives, if you will. So Okay, couple other things to cover. I think I'll be good, but I have, like I said, I've cried a few times today over this. Again, as an empath, I feel things, and because of the fact that I do love Dak so much, and I'm such a Cowboys fan, not to mention the fact that I know him so well through his numbers, there's been a bigger plan going on that I've been excited about for him. So this to me is so much more than just a football player that got hurt, okay? Additionally, and most important of all, and this is what his chart is going to show, is the full-on life purpose and overall picture. We are in a really, really dark spot right now as far as being, Dallas Cowboys fans, or Dak Prescott fans, even anybody that, isn't into this sort of stuff. It's a very dark day for us, okay? That hurt tremendously. And it is going to be felt for quite a while. And it couldn't have happened to a better guy. And it couldn't have happened... I'll continue to go on and we'll explain it. But just extremely tragic. But at the end of the day, at the end of the video, at the end of the story, this particular part of the story, there is light. There is light at the end of the tunnel. And that's why I feel it's so important that this message get to him, especially at a time like this. Because with especially everything that he's been through in recent years and just in his life overall, it's incredibly important that he be reminded of certain truths and that other things be confirmed for him and within him through this messaging. So that is the blessing that I speak over this message for Dak Prescott. Okay, just had to say that, and let me grab my thing really quickly. Okay, now with that being said, as we can already tell, I'm going to be speaking from a spiritual perspective, even as a crazy ass Dallas Cowboys fan. Okay, so I know a lot of you are going to be like, "What the entire fuck, Sarah?" But this is who I am. I normally wouldn't do this for my Cowboys friends. However, it is what it is. My passions have collided, as they did in so many other ways in my life. They've collided in this moment, and this is what I need to do to bring forth what special blessing and energy and manifestation that I can for Dak Prescott right now, and that's my entire intent. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and cover the charts. Everybody has 5 numbers in their main chart, and it's 1212 right now, okay? You have your life path number, birth date, your expression number, your personality number, and, your heart's desire, or often called soul urge number. Now, each one of these numbers has a different weight or intensity or importance in everybody's chart. Your life path is your heaviest, and then the expression and heart's desire are going to be around the same for number 2, and then the other 2 are kind of like at the lesser area. So your life path energy and number is the ultimate. It's the purpose of your life, why you're here, okay? And this is a lot of times not seen in somebody's life till maybe the latter years, the last half of their life, because again, it's about the destiny, okay? It's the life path. So some of those energies from their life path number may not be apparent too soon or early on in life, and that's okay. And everybody's chart works differently as well. But so your birthday energy on the other end is your everyday energy. So it's all about the journey. It's not about the destination. But it's what takes you to that destination ultimately. The parts of you that never change from birth until death. Okay. Your expression number is how you do things, how and why you do things based upon your numbers, of course, environmental factors, family, influence, that sort of things, those sort of things rather. And then you have your personality number, which is how the world sees you, how people see you. And then lastly, you have your heart's desire, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's what you want out of life, what your heart wants at the end of the day. Okay. In addition to that, I also, because we all know, as we all know, Dak's mom, Peggy, was super and is still, of course, very super special to him and his family. And so I would be remiss if I did not include her reading and his reading as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about Peggy and a couple of things that I found really cute and interesting about this that's going to tell me a little bit more about kind of Dak on a personal level. All right. Okay, so starting out with the life path. Now, like I think I mentioned before, Dak and I share a life path 4. So it's not only the Jersey number. The 4 is my main number in life. The 4 and the 1 are just super, super huge to me. And so I understand a lot of this automatically. Dak Prescott's life and story in numerology is what I often refer to in other readings and videos when speaking about the 4, because he is a 31-4 and because it is so prevalent how the numerology reflects in his life, okay, and in his career. And so him, along with Trump, along with Kim Kardashian, a few other 31-4 life path numbers like me. So, so of course I know, I know that energy very, very well. The 4 is the builder. The 4 is the leader. The 4 is the organizer, the coordinator. The 4 is the one that people look to for direction, okay? The 4 and the 1 are the main leaders. And if you look at all the numbers 1 through 9, there's going to be 3 main numbers that are kind of different from the rest. That's the 1, the 4, and the 7. Those are the ones with the hard lines, okay? You've got the 1, you've got the 4, and then you've got the 7. There's no roundness, no circles, anything like that. So these are the leaders. Now, the 4 is the main leader. That's the organizational leader. The 1 is the male dominant, the one and only, a very unique type of person, like there's no other person in the world. They're one of a kind. That's the 1, but also a very dominant male, my way or the highway type of energy. All right. And sorry, that's my bulldog, not me. So off the bat, we have leadership and organization, management, coordination. And this is super, super important because throughout the rest of these, you're going to find, and this is what tells me that I think Jerry and many rich, wealthy, successful people absolutely know about the power of numbers. And I can tell you, Jerry, that you do because of your players and the numbers that are in their charts. Tons of 8s. And what is the 8? The 8 is the magician, the manifester, the influencer, okay? Zeke, 8 all day. Kanye West, 8 all day, all right? So that's that sort of big, bold, beautiful energy kind of in their space and then some, and fun-loving, risky. 8 is power, money, and karma, but also resilience. And so that's a completely different type of energy from that 4 leadership, right? So even though we have a shit ton of 8s, and I'm telling you, the Cowboys are packed with 8s. I'm sure a lot of the teams are, but a lot of high 8s and a lot of high masters on the Cowboys. And again, like, it lets me know. That's why he's not just going to give any 88 to any old player. I'll see you, Jerry. I got your numbers, literally. And good job with that with CD, because he's going to do it. But, okay, so with all those 8s and all that influence and power and energy behind the 8, okay, strongest number in all of numerology, raw energy. That 4 is focusing that energy, okay, and putting it through the channels that it needs to go through in order to effectively and as impactfully as possible complete the task at hand, which is, of course, winning plays and winning a game. So that is how that's working in there. So in a shit ton of 8s and a whole team of 8s, it's the 4 that's leading, all right? And those are those hard lines to keep everything in structure and right in line. 4 is also justice. So the 4s have to right the wrongs. Everything in its right place where it's supposed to be. A lot of us are organized and we have to think almost OCD in ways, or we have to have very planned out itineraries, and we don't like last minute things or changes, that sort of like rigidity. That's very prevalent about a 4 as well. So, Um, so moving on to his birthday number. So his birthday number, being that everyday energy, that's going to be what is influencing and affecting and amplifying that life path energy, okay? And Dax is 11, so he's a master 11. The 11 is the master intuitive. So just as we talked about, the one being that male dominant energy, the one and only, very unique, nobody in the world like them, and leader, once again, a leader, that is duplicating that energy with and intensifying it, but it's also bringing in another energy of the two. Even though we're not deducing the 11 because it is a master, 1 and 1 still equals 2 at the end of the day. So what the 2 is that's the mother energy. That is the loving, nurturing female mother energy. This is very important to the reading throughout, okay? Not only because of the specific person, but because of the year that we're in, all right? We are in a 4-year, which is a 22 doubling of the mother energy, all right? 2020. So with that being said, so we have that 11 master energy, master intuitive energy. What this tells me about Dak is that he has incredible intuition. A lot of high 11s, in fact, are very spiritually inclined and may even be like mediums or psychics or clairvoyants, what have you. Sensitives, just as myself, even though I don't have 11 in my chart. But a lot of 11s, especially high 11s, will have that. Again, just sensitivities, okay? And that's another can of worms. But, okay, so what this means to me is there's absolute instinct, intuition, and insight into his strategy. And I think that this is going to play a huge part, and a huge role, especially what ends up happening later on in life. I think this is going to be super, super relevant to what happens then, which has nothing to do necessarily with what's going on now. But this is just to say that even if he had never had an accident, ever got hurt ever in life, that Dak is definitely set to be somebody very, very prevalent in his life and his involvement with the team, and his career is going to be impactful in a leadership position with insight and instinct in the future. And I feel in the far future, like not in the near future, but like in the extended future. I don't know if that's, later on after we retire, we are coaching or what have you. And again, of course, it's too soon to speak about anything in that way, but just, again, reading the numbers. Okay, so now moving to his expression number. So if our expression number is how we do things, that's just, again, based upon how and the things we came up around environmental factors and, of course, our charts. So his expression number is the 6. This is what I really find super cute and interesting about Peggy's chart versus Dak's chart. So Dak's expression number is the 6. What is the 6? The 6 is the love of home and family and the things that are sacred, and family being sacred, traditions. I think of 6 and I think of a warm seat. The 6 almost looks like a seat, a warm, cushy seat that you could just fall back into. So it's like a warm, loving, like I think of holidays and fires and turkeys roasting in the oven and that sort of a thing. So sacred things, home, love, and family. That's a 6. So that is how he does things. That's in everything that he does it with love, right? Now, what's interesting and that I didn't mention before is back to his 11, which again is not a 2, but it's bringing in the energy of the 2. The 2 being that mothering, the 2 and the 6 are the most loving numbers out of all of them. So here again, we have a very loving, nurturing, but more mothering type energy, okay? And supportive, very wise, eyes in the back of their head type of energy. And also with 2s, it's almost all the time, like high 2s will have food and love involved. So I would not be surprised if Dak likes to cook or shows his love for others by cooking, or feels love through food. Okay, and the reason that I say that is because of several things that we'll see a little bit later on in the reading. But again, let's remember that he processes love through food somehow, and so his expression number being that loving 6 energy surrounding home, family, environment, and things that are sacred is really interesting because her personality number is a 6. So once again, the personality number is how we're seen by the world. So this is how he saw her. And his expression number, which is how he does things because of how he saw her. Okay? Does that make sense? Do we see how that works there? So we have, I know this is all scribbly right here. Okay? So we have Dak is a 6 expression. Her personality is 6. So the way that she appeared to the world, how she was perceived, is how he now does things. And that's why. It's how and why we do things. Because that was what was presented to him. And it's what he looked to as that role model for all of that. And and I can also tell you because of the 6 that, without knowing him or knowing this about him, that Dak is the type of personality that, I shouldn't tell this to everybody, but he probably would never turn down a fan. Like, he's such a kind person. That's a 6. Just a kind, loving, warm person who's genuine, who just wants everybody to feel loved and accepted and roots for everybody, has everybody's back and really believes in them and encourages them and nurtures them. And that's another way that he shows love is his belief in you. Like, he knows you can do it, and he makes you reach higher. He makes you want to reach higher. So this tells me that, like, probably the players really go so hard for him because they just love him. Everybody loves him. Like, nobody's going to say anything bad about him except stupid Skip Bayless, who's probably drunk. I don't know. But, like, that was some stupid shit, Skip. But I digress. So he's going to be a very loving and welcoming and warm energy, even if he's had a bad day. Like, he does everything in love. That's how he does things, okay? So which is really, really sweet. And also looking at this, like, going down to his personality number is that 8. Well, looking at her chart, her expression number is 8. So we have those 2 numbers switched at their charts. And I think this is... And I'm just going to say this right now. I totally feel that Dak was the closest of the sons with Peggy. She loved all her kids, of course, but there was a special bond there. And undescribable, but I think they both understood it. And I feel it's due to their, the way that their charts kind of mirror each other in this way, not to mention the fact that her birth date number is that 4, and that's his life path number. So 3 of their numbers match up, all right, but in different places. And to me, this just tells me that he's so much like her in so many ways, and was the closest to her, and there was a special bond there. But again, that, she loved all her kids. But that's what that says to me. And so he carries her everywhere with him. I mean, we see that. I don't have to see numbers to say that, but it goes deeper is my point. It goes way deeper than even what we see. And it's super special. So, and it's sacred. There's that loving, warm family 6 energy throughout. And then the 8 being beautiful, being fun. And another thing is, like, her expression, and I think this is important to point out, and if he sees this, I think that he'll understand. But her personality, what this tells me is that she was probably very funny and just had this big personality. Even though she was business in her everyday energy, she was the strategist, probably very, very organized with itineraries and schedules and stuff. She had to be, with 3 kids, 3 sons, and football and all of that. But she had this, like, funny side to her, or this big personality and, like, fun-loving, just joy and crazy side to her almost, I feel. And that is, I think, what he misses most and what he thinks about most as far as what he thinks about with her. And I do want to say that I say this in energy and in complete transparency as much as possible and just being real. And I say it in all reverence to somebody who I love very much, who I know has been through a tremendous amount in his life, and especially recently. So I just want to honor that really quickly before I speak any further, because there are some times that I do feel like I don't want to say too much. And at the end of the day, like I feel like it's important that I speak what energy is coming to me. All right. Be it like incorrect. I'm not always right, but majority of the time, again, look at my videos. I'm not going to talk about it, but I just want to make sure that the correct messaging comes through, especially for this reading. So I just needed to say that. Okay, so continuing forward, I feel very strongly that there was a very strong bond between the two of them, and it was special. And it is because of the numbers that they share in their charts. He is most like her, and there's something about a big, bold personality, and I feel like that's what's missed most, is that like fun, crazy, maybe even risky side to her, which to me almost like doesn't make sense. You would have to be so organized. I'm not a mom, so I don't know, but you would think with 3 boys and football and all of that, that's just, you got to be hyper organized as it is. And but you know, the 8 is crazy 8. There's some craziness to that, and I think that that's that like letting loose part that more than anything as a feeling is missed in his life, because he probably hasn't felt permission, like he's had permission to let loose and to relax in a long time. And it's understandable. It's understandable. But I do feel compelled to say that because it's super important that, especially all things considered, to take care of oneself. All right. Okay. So moving forward, that was super cute to me about their little chart like that. And then going forward to end her chart, her heart's desire number, which is super, super sweet, is the 2. So not only was she seen as that 6, that loving family, warm, soft, safe place to land for pretty much anybody. She'd be like that to anybody, but of course her sons. But at the end of the day, her heart's desire was to be that loving, nurturing energy of the 2. She loved being a mom. That's what she always wanted to be, is a mom. And she did a tremendous job at it. And she, and this is also super, super important as to this time right now, and in this year right now, is this too, because it's so strong within the reading, and within the year. So again, with as much reverence and respect and love as I can offer, I say the following. I absolutely know that she is with you every day, Dak, and I sense that there's a lot of times that you actually sense her, feel her, or there may be things that happen synchronicities that happen. Like you'll be thinking of something or passing somewhere that reminds you, we used to eat there or something, and it's 12:34 right now. And then her song comes on, or somebody says something, it's like, oh, my mom used to say that. That's so crazy. And those are moments of synchronicity to remind you she's right there. All right. And I also would love you to learn your numbers because they're going to speak to you and they're going to help you understand. You're definitely somebody that needs to know what's going on in your life, as far as on a more spiritual side of things. And it's my hope that I can help bring some of that to you. We all know that you've gone through a lot, and we're here for you and support you. And so that is exactly what I'm hoping that this does. All right. Okay. So continuing with Dak's chart. So we have that 6-8, and then we move to his heart's desire. So his heart's desire is the 7. Let's talk about the 7, and I do want to back up a little bit before we even go to this part of the 7, and I want to go to today's 7. What do I mean by that? Today, as far as 35 minutes ago, when this all happened, was October 11th. 2020. That is a 7 overall, what would be the life path number in a chart, because you're taking all the digits and the entire date. But it's just the overall energy because we're talking about the date, not a person. We're just talking about that day, okay? So what this tells me, and this is the most important part of the message, even as a Cowboys fan, just a regular Cowboys fan, not a crazy one like me that's a numerologist that knows everybody's charts, like even just as a regular Cowboys fan, it still hurts everybody to see what happened to him today. And it's going to hurt us for a long time, especially for those who are, super Cowboy fans, man. This is like fucking devastating. But that's only right now. That's only the darkness right now. That's only because it just happened. It hurts and we don't know, and that unknowing is so uncomfortable for everybody. But what I'm here to tell you, Dak, and what I'm here to tell everybody, but more than anybody else, everything is going to be okay. This is part of the purpose. It was and is a horrible, ugly, disgusting, tragic, unfortunate step in it, but it's an important part of the purpose, the overall big picture. And I'm grateful for that, because if I didn't, first of all, feel that instinctively when this first happened and realizing it, what today was and the energy that I had been feeling throughout it overall anyways, even then I was like, this is there's something bigger going on, okay? Now, I think that that's important because there's at the end of the day, there's a destination and there's a life path for everybody. But what happened today is an important part of what's to come. And what is to come is going to be what I consider to be like miraculous and legendary, as far as like just a stellar example for the history books as to what happened with this person's life and everything they went through and what came of that. That's exactly what Dak Prescott's chart speaks of. So it's very important that we understand that, especially as Cowboys fans. This is much bigger than football. This is about a man's purpose, and Dak Prescott is highly purposed. Outside of football, he's highly purposed. My true belief is that he is a light worker, and he wants to right the wrongs, and he has incredible instincts to do so. Everything that he does as far as his career and life right now is just a part of that, and it's part of the different components of the machine that is Dak Prescott. But this is only a bump, all right? Might be a big bump, and so it may hurt for a little bit, but this is it's an important part of the overall picture and the greatness that's going to stem from this life. Okay, so that's super important to recognize, because at the end of the day, that's the primary message. Everything is going to be okay, and everybody should realize that. And I know it's super, super hard right now, and especially for Dak, and we just all need to be super positive for him. And many people, especially if you're not too spiritual, don't realize that collectively as energy, if we put our energy together and send out positive energy in a direction with an intention, we absolutely can move mountains physically, all right? with energy. So this stuff is not, it's very verifiable in science in many, many ways. So not talking crazy talk, but our thoughts matter, our intentions matter, and our positivity matters for Dak right now. So everybody just send him your well wishes and your prayers and your thoughts, and it's definitely going to make a difference, okay? So my little soapbox right there for a second. But anyways, okay. Another thing I want to say about the 8 that I kind of forgot about before. So in the midst of all of the 8s that we have on the team, right? Who's the leader? The 4. We talked a little bit about that. But that 8 personality that Dak has, that's that fun-loving, open, big, bold, risky, big personality, right? That we were talking about with Peggy. And this is the part of him that, even though everybody respects Dak, and that is the man. Like, Dak is a leader among men. He's not just the leader of a Cowboys team. Like, Dak is a great person. There's great character in this chart. This is somebody who wants to do things right, to right the wrongs, wants to do things perfectly, and has a higher purpose within that, okay? So this is, again, you know, it's not just football. This is an incredibly high-purposed life that we're talking about, not just a quarterback, all right? I consider another one like that Tim Tebow. And so I am very excited to see the miracles and manifestations that I'm claiming over Dak Prescott's life through this unfortunate and ugly bump that we're going through right now with his injury. Okay? All right. So that 8, that is how we're relating to the team. So that's a big part of why they love him. Just like he loves and misses that part of Peggy, like that's one of his favorite parts of her, was that fun, let loose, crazy side. Like, that's what they love about him. Even though they love that he's warm and that inviting family type energy, like you feel like Dak's everybody's brother. We all love him. We all feel that way about him. But even though there's that loving energy there, there's that fun side that creeps out from, you know, the captain every now and again and has fun and lets loose. Like, they love that about him because they know how serious he is about everything else and how seriously he takes things and how hard he works, and they don't want to let him down. There's tremendous amount of respect for Dak Prescott from all of the Cowboys, and I know from Jerry as well, and the execs. He truly is one of a kind, and we're just starting to see what's happening with this man's life. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind, and once again, just keep praying for him, and we're going to help get him through this quicker and healthier and bigger and better and stronger than ever before, okay? And we can absolutely be a part of his healing by doing that. So okay, so with that being said, and I'm sorry, I'm so ADD, super tired at this point, and again, kind of a hard day, but I'll finish up by saying, with this whole thing of today, the October 11th, or what was today, October 11th, 2020, which ends up being 7. So this is a day of, the 7 is the number of the divine, and it's over the 11. So the everyday energy is that 11. Everything was amplified today. Like, I just felt it, and I've been feeling a lot just because the energy in the world is crazy right now. But today just felt just a certain type of something, and then I understood what it was for a couple different reasons. But the 11 of the day and the 11 of his birthday are definitely in line, okay? And this 7 over today, the overall energy for 7 today, what this tells me is this is the part of the perfect plan. It's a part of the strategy, and most importantly, above all, God is over this. It's the number of the divine. That's why I'm saying everything's going to be okay. I want to cry again too right now. Like, I'm broken over what I saw today. And I hate to use that word, but everything's going to be okay. And this is a part of a bigger plan. the end of the day, he's not just a football player. He's a human being. He has a purpose, a much bigger purpose, even after he retires years down the road. He's got a much bigger purpose as a human being. And I truly believe, like I said before, that he is a light worker. I believe that he is here to help humanity in so many ways, and that football is just a part of that journey. All right. So, just to clarify things, sorry, my computer's doing weird stuff. All right, so, and I feel just compelled to say this. I think that there's a lot of frustration or a lot of pain, a lot of sadness that comes with the fact that there was such expectation. Dak knows who he is. Dak knows his potential, and he knew that there was such a plan, a divine plan. And he knew, and he knows, and he has known, maybe we've questioned it. No one would judge you. It's understandable, but maybe we've questioned it, that everything that we've gone through is a part of a bigger plan, but instinctually we know that, okay? And as hard as it is to accept that sometimes and swallow it, instinctually we know that, even if we question it. So even though there was this plan that you thought was going to be the plan, there's a much bigger plan involved. And it's bigger and beautiful, more beautiful than what you planned. You know, the saying goes that, like, we make plans and God laughs, but he has our best interest at heart. And he knows that what he put the desires in our heart, the Bible says. So, like, absolutely he knows what's going to make us happy and what we want, and he wants to bless us in those ways. So we need to trust him. We need to trust the plan. It's the hardest thing to do right now. I just know energetically, just because of everything else going on in the world, it's incredibly hard for me to trust the plan or even sit still some days. It's that difficult. But you just got to go through it, take things day by day, and just face it and grow stronger as a result. So that's what we're going to pull together to do to help Dak, and that's what he's going to do as well. We all know his personality. We all know how he gets down. He is not a quitter. If we think for 1 second that dude is done, like, you have no clue who Dak Prescott is. All right? So, again, I'm excited to see the miracles he's about to pull out of his hat, and may God be glorified for the miracles that are going to manifest because of this. And I claim that over him. Okay. So, again, we expected that perfection, and we had a plan. It was a master plan, and we had the strategy and the organization and the leadership skills to do it, and the influence and the love. We had the love of the team, and we were almost there. We'd finally gotten to, and I just think it's so crazy that Jason Garrett was there today too. Synchronicities. And I don't know what that is meaning specifically as far as, but that just hit me. That's crazy that he'd be there today for this. So, you know, to see him carted off like that with tears and just the pain and frustration and sadness and fear in his face just fucking broke me. It just broke me. I bawled. Like, I want to cry right now. Like, that just, even the commentator was like, he was one of the good ones. Man, that's one of the good ones right there. Like, everybody, like, it's just, and on a spiritual side of things, Dak is a warrior. And that's what you guys don't see, and you probably don't understand. Maybe some of you don't believe in. But I'm telling you, that was a warrior, you know? I don't want to say was, that was out on the field, a warrior. But that is a warrior. He's still a warrior. And this is all a part of the bigger purpose with this. And that's what, it's just hard to digest and understand at this moment. But that's what we need to remember, and we need to, again, just continue to pray for him and be that positivity and that light and that sunshine that comes in to help keep him warm during this cold time. And I guess aside from that, there's really nothing else in the reading other than just a great emphasis to remind you this happened on a 7-11. The 11 within us is our like our intuition and our soul. And there's two parts. It's like the two towers. And this is going to be an amplification through the hand of God. And that is what the numbers say. And that is what I claim over his life and over the situation right now, with miraculous healing and rapid healing, and just amazing the doctors at what they're seeing physically happening with him. And that's what I claim. And that's what can happen, because with God, anything's possible. And that's who's over it. That's who's over it. With his thumbprint, with that 7, like, hey, it's me. So, Daddy Dak, everything's going to be okay, darling. We love you, and you rest up. I think that maybe life right now is also telling you in some other ways that you're going to need to rejuvenate. So let's rejuvenate. Let's just utilize this time that life has forced upon us for the betterment of ourselves, okay? You know that you have our support. We love you so much, and we're going to see you back there killing it again soon, as soon as possible, and hopefully sooner than later, all right? So, again, my prayer is that this is to be a blessing to you and anybody else who may watch it and find it as such. So, for those who've listened so far, thank you so much. Sorry for the ADD and the ums. It's been a long day, but thanks again for watching. Everybody have a great day. All right, God bless.